On May 1st, I started a test comparing Tcgplayer to eBay utilizing 10,000 Pokemon bulk cards, and today we're going to be going over our first full week results. So last week I talked about how it was kind of a partial week because we started the test on May 1st, and that video last Sunday was really on May 3rd. So day ending May 2nd, we didn't really have that many results there. We kind of started like April 30th the night before. Well, today we've got our first full week, which I am categorizing as week 1. So these results are going to be from May 3rd through midnight of May 9th. And we're going to go over those results today. Now, did a couple things a little bit different with this week as well. So if you watched the prior videos, I talked about doing a simulated buy. And what that means is I bought those 10,000 bulk cards, about $400 total. And my goal with that, my first and foremost goal was to build out my collection. And so I went through and I identified 865 cards were in that lot that I did not have in my collection. So I pulled those out, and instead of listing those, I basically am doing a simulated buy where I basically leverage my scanner. I leverage Card Uploader. I scanned in all 865, and those have a market value of $187.72. That's the aggregate market value for all 865 cards. And I am considering that a simulated buy. Now, I put this in a separate category because technically it's not revenue we're getting back. However, I am accounting for this as part of buying those lot of cards, because this, had I not done this, had I not bought this lot, I would have had to go out and basically spend $187 individually on these cards over time. So you can kind of see that cost basis was actually just over $32 for those 865 cards at 3.7 cents a card. So our profit on that was actually $155 is kind of what we came out ahead on that. Now, obviously, we're still in the negative because we haven't made back everything, but I did want to highlight that one. The other thing I did is you're going to see these one others. We're going to talk about these here in a minute. Because sales weren't the greatest throughout the week, periodically, I wanted to keep listing a few cards. But what I did was I listed all 5,000 cards on April 30th going into May 1st. And so we didn't actually have more cards to list. So what we did is we just trickled in some perfect order cards, some promo cards, some celebrations cards, and those basically sold. So because this is not part of the 5,000 card lot that we're doing the head-to-head comparison, I put these in a separate category. We will talk about those in a minute. But before we talk about all of those, let's talk about just week 1. And let's take a look at Tcgplayer first. So Tcgplayer, you can kind of see here, we only did about 4 orders here. So we had an order of Boss's Orders and Air Balloon and Team Rocket's Petrol from Destined Rivals. And you can kind of see what those lay out as. Obviously, the Air Balloons are from Black Bolt, Petrol's from Destined Rivals, and 4 copies of Boss's Orders from Mega Evolutions. The other thing I did separate this week that you might notice here is I've included the shipping fees. So this includes all of my packing materials. So when you see this profit, this is true net profit. And I've got basically a listing over here. I haven't talked about this before, but essentially what this boils down to is whenever I ship something from eBay, the shipping supplies itself is about $20. So you can buy these in bulk, or 20 cents rather, sorry. Buy these in bulk, but still, I'm looking about 20 cents to ship up to 6 cards. If we include postage in that, we're looking about 94 cents total, and on Tcgplayer about 97 cents total. Now, with this, I'm basically factoring this in now into the profit where I really didn't do that last week. but I did go back and retroactively populate that for last week as well. So when we look at aggregate numbers, it is going to be true profit. So for Tcgplayer, you can kind of see that here. We've got that 19 cents. Now, because this was, a handful of cards there, we were able to put that all in one envelope. And we were able to basically take those fees and spread them across 7 cards. So that was nice. And then if we take a look at the net profit here, you can kind of see 3 cents on those cards, 11 cents on those cards, petrol, 21 cents. Then we had somebody order 4 Dawns and a Lana's Aid from Twilight. And so the Dawns profited 6 cents. And again, this is after my cost basis. So I am including that cool stuff in cost basis here. If you pick these up cheaper, obviously, you're going to net more. And then Lana's Aid, we got 14 cents on that one. And then somebody bought, one of the advantages I had with buying that lot from Cool Stuff Inc. is they include cards from almost every generation. So we had some Roaring Skies cards in there. There was a Togekiss Roaring Sky card in there, which had a market value of $1.09. That's actually what we sold it at on Tcgplayer. Obviously, they paid $1.31 shipping. It cost us 78 cents to ship. We had 19 cents in shipping fees. The order fee on that was 64 cents. Net of 79 cents after our cost basis, we still profited 75 cents on that card. So even though we're kind of overpaying for those bulks to get them from a game store pretty much, we're still making pretty significant profit here just because of the variety of cards they're including. Now, as the week went along, after this order came in, there were actually a couple days where I didn't get any orders on Tcgplayer. So I ended up lowering my floor price a little bit, but I ended up taking a little bit too low. So I took it down to, I believe, 10 cents, just to kind of see if anything would move towards the end of the week. And we did get somebody come in and they bought 2 Risky Ruins at 11 cents a piece. And then, but unfortunately, kind of what happened here was, so they bought 2 Risky Ruins. There was $1.31 they got charged for shipping. So that was fine. 78 cents postage, which was fine. But we've got 19 cents here in shipping supplies and then 26 cents on the order fee. So our net was only 2 cents, but because we spent 3.7 cents on those cards, we actually lost 4 cents on this order. So not a big deal, but something to be aware of. And this is why it's very important to set a floor price, right? So I've since bought my floor price back up to 15 cents. We're just going to ride it out at that. But I would definitely recommend at least like probably a 13 to 15 cent floor range there. And then the last one, this was a big order. It came in last night. Shout out to Roar TCG. One of the viewers on his stream is a Bulbasaur collector, and she picked up a bunch of Bulbasaurs from him. She also hopped on over to my pro seller site and picked up a handful of Bulbasaurs and Ivysaurs. And what's cool about this is the fees were very minimal because it was from my pro seller site. So she picked up 4 Bulbasaurs from Pokemon Go, a Bulbasaur from 151, 3 Bulbasaurs from Mega Evolutions, 2 Ivysaurs from Mega Evolutions, and 4 Ivysaurs from Pokemon Go. And I also threw in, I didn't put them in here, I just removed them from my inventory. I threw in a Shining Legends Ivysaur and also a Shining Legends Venusaur for her. Because she's basically a big collector in the Bulbasaur line. So we went ahead and threw those in the package for her. But that sale, you can kind of see here that this one was $283 on those cards, $131 shipping. But you can see because the fees were so low, we only had to pay 51 cents total in fees for that whole order. We were able to actually profit 14 cents on those Bulbasaurs, 10 cents on the 1 from 151, 7 cents on the Bulbasaur from Mega Evolutions, 16 cents from the Ivysaur from Mega Evolutions, and 13 cents from the Ivysaurs from Pokemon Go. So those were the TCG player sales this week. Obviously not substantial by any means, but we did kind of learn kind of what our bottom floor is. Now, obviously, if this sold from the pro seller site, we would have been in the profit, but they sold from the regular marketplace. Now let's talk about eBay. So on the eBay front, we had a handful of orders here. So we actually had 19 orders, it looks like, on eBay. So we had a Slowpoke from SV Base, where we profited 20 cents. So with this one, and I'm not going to go through all of these metrics. They're kind of here on the screen if you want to see them. But basically, sold for $1.99. We did have a marketing fee of 25 cents, order fee of 56 cents, but we still profited 20 cents on that card. I had a Lotad that this was actually a misprint. It was missing the L, and the kind of like the basic energy where it says basic at the top left was completely missed on the screening. So it's somewhat of a misprint, but still common card. So I just listed it with the picture. It sold for $1.99. Somebody picked that up. So I profited 44 cents on that. Clobopus from Chilling Rain. Same deal. We profited 44 cents. Trubbish from Fusion Strike. Now on that one, we profited 70 cents. And this is because somebody came in and they ordered a Trubbish, a Litten, and actually 2 Trubbishes. They were both from, these are actually wrong here. All 3 of these were from Fusion Strike, I believe. So they picked up all 3 of these cards using the buy 2, get 1 free. And the advantage of that is because the shipping was baked in to basically the listing price, we profited on that order $2.09 for those 3 cards. So that was nice. And then somebody bought Bulbasaur from Pokemon Go. That was a promoted listing, 25 cents. So we profited 20 cents on that one. Rayquaza Spirit Link from Roaring Skies. This one, somebody made an offer of $1.50. I went ahead and accepted it. And because they did it through like the search, there was no marketing fee. We only profited 2 cents on that. So just something to keep in mind. This is kind of the lowest I will go with shipping baked in. So for any listings that I have shipping baked in, I will not go lower than $1.50 because it's borderline unprofitable. And then what I always do is anytime I get an offer, it'll tell me if that offer was submitted via a promoted listing. If it was, I know I'm going to get hit with a fee on top of that. So if somebody submits me an offer for like $1.75 from a promoted listing, I'll probably accept it. But if they submit $1.50 for a promoted listing, I wouldn't accept it. But because this one did not come from promoted, I went ahead and accepted it. Next up here is Eevee from Astral Radiance. So that was $1.80. And did have that marketing fee on it from being a promoted listing. We netted 40 cents. Now, what I did at this point was, this was around the same time Tcgplayer wasn't getting sales. eBay really wasn't getting sales midway towards the end of the week. I decided, hey, let's switch some things up and let's try a handful of cards, making them 99 cents and changing shipping to charge shipping of $1. So a little bit of a different strategy there. And we sold a fan fee that way. So you'll see on this one that it actually sold for 99 cents with $1 shipping. And with that, we profited 45 cents. Again, there was no marketing fee on that one. So I do have a handful of cards up there. Right now, I'm kind of comparing this to see if it's more worthwhile to do a lower price with a shipping charge versus baking the shipping charge in. So we're still running that test moving forward here. We had an EV from Astral Radiant sale. This was $1.80. Because I wasn't getting sales, I also lowered some prices. I lowered by 5%. And you can bulk lower prices on eBay by a percentage. So that's what I did. I basically went in, because I have everything that I've listed are bulk cards, and they're all pretty much $2.50 or less. I went ahead and I did a mass update and reduced everything by 5%. Really didn't get any sales. I did it by 5% again. So we basically went from $199 to $189, and then $189 to $180. And then we started selling some cards. That's actually where I have everything at right now. So you can see with this one, EV from Astral Radiance, there was no promoted listing on this one. So we did profit 28 cents on that. Now, we kind of got, when we did that, we started getting like a flurry of sales come in. So Snorlax from Fusion Strike, you can see kind of sold at the same price. However, it was sold through a promoted listing, and so we only netted 5 cents. One of the things that I did effective today is I changed from being a variable ad rate, I changed it to a fixed ad rate of, I think, 9%. So we're going to see what that does kind of next week. That should lower our marketing fee percent, or basically marketing fee value based on what we configured. So moving forward, we should get a little bit more profit for those promoted listings. So we'll keep an eye on that next week. We also sold a Pikachu from Roaring Skies for $2.25. Is what I had that thing listed at. And again, it had a marketing. It was a promoted listing. So we profited 38 cents on that one. And then moving down the list, we had our final order for the week. We had a big order. Somebody came through and bought a bunch of Pikachus, including a Lost Origin Pikachu. It's a really cool Pikachu there. But they basically they bought 6 cards. So I have the buy 2, get 1 free. So they basically bought 4 cards, got 2 free. $8.10 was basically the total revenue that I got on that. And our total profit, you can see we actually profited 86 cents on each of those cards. And that's the power of having buyers buy multiple cards at once. And so on this order, we actually profited $5.15. Now, I want to talk about this one other. So what I also did, I trickled in a bunch of other cards that weren't part of those 5,000 card bulk lot, but there are additional cards that I had laying around that I just kind of wanted to trickle in and get some additional sales, and hopefully maybe like promote the algorithm a little bit to show it that I'm more active, to funnel in some sales, and also kind of make up for paying the monthly subscription fee, right? Because we weren't doing too hot and drilling into the monthly subscription cost. I'm not going to go through the profits on all of these, but you're going to see a bunch of these, we basically made nothing on. And the reason I'm showing you guys this list is to highlight kind of that $1.49 floor. I would never go below that. And this is why. So $1.49. So I sold a bunch of various cards. So some Lorcana cards, some Celebrations cards. Basically, I sold them for $1.49, including shipping. And with the fees and all of that, our net was only 4 cents, but because our cost basis was basically just under 4 cents, we didn't actually profit anything on any of those cards. This Groudon, we accepted an offer at $1.25, because I kind of wanted to, this was earlier on, I wanted to test the waters on this. And you can see after our shipping supplies and everything, we actually lost 20 cents on the sale. And coming down here, you can see there's another Groudon. This one sold via a promoted listing. We had that $1.49, so we actually lost 22 cents. So this is very important that if you are going to do promoted listings, make sure you don't have anything below $1.99, regardless of what the value of the card is. I would not go below that figure. Could maybe do like $1.80, but I definitely wouldn't go anything lower than that. But just scrolling through, you can see Pokepad was in there, Gengar. We had 2 Tyrant promo cards. Those both sold. Interestingly enough, those both sold to the same buyer. It was an international buyer. So they basically paid eBay $9 to have each of those cards shipped. And the nice thing is we get to send those to a eBay shipping center in a plain white envelope through standard eBay tracking, through the standard envelope. And then they will take it and they will forward it to the international buyer. So we don't have to handle the international shipping. The eBay processing center does that for us. We had an energy recycler. You can see in there Gengar, a couple, Rocket Zapdos from Celebrations Classic Collection, a Pikachu from Celebrations. We also had a Blastoise from the Celebrations Classic Collection that we sold. That one we had listed at $17.99. You can see the fee on that was $3. And we ended up profiting about $14 on that one. Now, I have a cost basis of 3.7 cents in these. All of these, I really don't have a true cost basis on. I just kind of left these with what the other cost basis was from the Cool Stuff Inc. These are all cards that I've either pulled from packs or other streamers like RAR or TJ from PokePass or TCG, or various streamers have pulled for me, or I've pulled myself. But just scrolling down through the list here, you'll see a couple Arcana cards in there. Groudon, Ho-Oh, couple Imposter Professor Oaks, Rocket's Admin, Kyogre, Lugia from Celebrations, a couple Tyrants, a Meowth from Perfect Order. It's a very playable card right now. But even this one, so 586, and our net was 381 on that one. And we also sold a reverse holo Pokepad. 225, we profited 67 cents off of that one after the fees and everything. So that is, at a high level, that's all the details. So let's talk about what the numbers, the aggregate numbers are looking like. So we've got for week 0, which was last week, we did, that was the first couple days of the month. We did $12.60 in profit. This week, we only did $9.77 in profit. A few less orders there. This is those supplemental sales that I trickled in. I put these in their own line item so that we can track these separately. You can see we profited $51 off of those. But the true bulk head-to-head we're doing with Tcgplayer, the 977 is figure we're looking at there, 19 cards. Tcgplayer, we sold a lot more cards, but the profit wasn't really there. So we had $6.43 in revenue, and we had a profit of $3.40 there. And you can kind of see that simulated buy that we did as well is here. So really what we were looking at for the week, obviously we didn't do too great in sales wise across both platforms. We only had $13 of profit. Again, I'm looking at profit to determine, if I can kind of break even on this thing. Again, we spent about $400 for 10,000 cards through this buy. So that's the number that we're looking to get to. But at this point, across basically the first 10 days of the month, we're at $22. So we're almost at what the eBay monthly subscription fee cost. So the hope is that based on how this is going, hopefully by the middle towards the end of the next week, we will achieve that. And then everything beyond that will be profit. And so that'll be interesting to see, because right now we're sitting $22 on eBay. And we're only sitting $10 on Tcgplayer. And because eBay has that, again, I'm paying month to month. I get it. If you pay in advance, if you pay for annual, then you can get it. I think it's like $24 or something like that. I'm paying $27. So that is what we're trying to do the break even on. So at this point, Tcgplayer is still ahead, but we'll see how this lays out as we get deeper and deeper into the month.